Hey YouTube, Ruel here. Today we're going to talk about the top 7 credit mistakes you must avoid. Look, it's so good to know what to do when it comes to certain things, but it's also very important to know what not to do. So these 7 things are things you must avoid when it comes to your credit. So without further ado, let's dive in and look at each one of them and break it down. Hey guys, so right to the point, what are the 7 credit mistakes you must avoid? This is very important because a lot of times it's so important to know what not to do to avoid a lot of mistake when it comes to your credit. So I want to give you some things I want you to consider when it comes to your credit that you must avoid. Okay, the first one is actually not having any credit history. So if right now you're watching this and you do not have a credit history, what are you doing, right? You need to build that credit history right now, right? The best time to start building your credit was like literally 2 seconds ago, and the next best time is right now, right? So you have to get started and start reporting, start building your credit history, because that is very important, guys. I came here in 2016. I'm originally from Ethiopia. So the first time we got here, we resided in our sponsor's house. And then after we got our information, like social security number or other documentation, it was time for us to move by ourselves. And when we try to get our own house, of course, rent a house, get a car, they were asking us for our credit. And at that time, guys, I didn't even know what credit mean, right? But I knew if it prevent me from getting a car, if it prevent me from getting an apartment, if you prevent me actually moving along with my life, I know it must be important. That's when I started taking my credit seriously and start building my credit consistently. Now I have a perfect credit score because I knew the value of credit. So if you're an immigrant like me or whatever you do in here in the United States, you need credit. Whoever tells you do not need credit, they're out of their mind, right? Because whatever their tips they're giving you is not realistic. So I highly encourage you to avoid the mistake of not building your credit history. So right now, I want you, if you don't have any credit cards, if you don't have any credit history, make sure you start building your credit. Okay, and if you need guidance on how to build your credit, definitely ask me. Give me any question you may have. What are the best cards you want to get when you started? All that kind of stuff. I'll give you guidance to that. DM me on my social media, and also drop a comment so I can give you some guidance on starting your credit journey. So the second mistake you must avoid is actually not paying your credit card's balance. Okay, this is very important. You gotta pay your credit cards. If you use your credit cards, make on-time payments. Why? Because payment history weighs 35% of your score. So if you miss one payment, right? One payment can ruin your credit. So you do not afford to actually hurt your credit by missing one payment. Okay, and then a lot of times if you are late not paying a certain credit card for 30 or 60 days, they will report it. And if that happens, it will so detrimental to your credit. So make sure you're setting an alarm. Make sure you put it in your calendar to pay your credit cards. And sometimes it helps to set automatic payments, because you don't now everything is automated and you do not need to actually worry about when to pay your credit. So make sure you pay your credits on time. So the third mistake you must avoid when it comes to your credit is actually maxing out your credits, right? I see this a lot because a lot of times people want to just overspend, and what they're going to do is they take their credit cards, go out and do shopping, and then max out their credit card. If your credit card is $300, right, and you max out the $300, that's 100% utilization, okay? And credit utilization is the second most important thing that weights to the calculation of your credit score, and it weights 30% of your score, okay? Payment history weights 35% of your score, and these weights 30% of your score. So you do not afford to kind of like max out your credit cards, because you're going to lose 30% of your score, right? If you just manage these two, now you have 65% advantage on attaining a perfect credit score by just making this a priority, right? So make sure you're not maxing out your accounts. Usually it's ideal to put these under 30%, but I usually tell my clients to put it under 10%. If you put it under 10%, a lot of lenders love to see that. They don't see you as a person that highly leverage their credit, so they want to do business with you. They want to allow you to borrow to do business with them. So keep it under 10%, and that will put you in a great shape. So this is the third one. So the fourth one that you want to avoid, the fourth mistake that you want to avoid when it comes to your credit is not monitoring your credit in a frequent basis, right? Not monitoring your credit frequently, because this is very important. This is how you prevent yourself from identity theft, because our information is misused in a lot of ways, and you have to be the responsible person to monitor your credit, making sure that no one is getting an account in your name, no one is making unauthorized transaction in your name, or also utilizing your social security number to get some account in your name. Guys, I own a financial company, and one of the services we give there is credit improvement, and we see this quite often. Since people don't monitor their credit in a monthly basis, they are a lot of victim of identity theft. And you can prevent identity theft by actively monitoring your credit, because that way you can see when people make an inquiry to acquire a credit card, or also if they can open any account, these monitoring services will notify you saying that, hey, do you make this, do you authorize these things? And if you didn't, that's the time to actually apply for identity theft claim and get that removed, guys. So make sure you're monitoring your credit quite often, because of the age we live in. This is like a digital age. Our information is everywhere, guys, and it's our job to protect it and to stay on the top, because if you catch identity theft in a shorter period, you can prevent it from doing a lot of damage into your life. So make sure you monitor your credit quite often. So the fifth mistake you must avoid is applying for too many credit cards too often, because this is going to raise your credit inquiry. When you apply for a credit, they call it a hard pull, right? A hard pull is they literally put your social security number, full social security number, and pull your credit report. And lenders and banks see this to see how actively you're seeking credit. If you're actively seeking credit, you're going to be viewed as a risk to actually do business with, because it kind of like shows them that you're in kind of some kind of like financial crisis. Why are you applying for a lot of things this quick, right? So make sure, inquiries usually fall off in 2 years. So make sure that your hard inquiries are low at the time. So don't apply for like 5-6 cards or 5-6 different things at the same time. Make sure you're limiting that, and also removing your inquiries. We have a system that actually helps some of our clients remove an inquiry. So if you want to know about that, definitely let us know, and we'll be glad to help. So the sixth mistake you want to avoid is closing your oldest account. Guys, this is also very important, because credit age is another factor that affects your credit. And if you close your oldest account, it affects that overall age. So a lot of times when we start our credit journey, it's maybe with a security card, and we have like so little limit, like $300 limit. So, if you take myself as an example, my first card was from my community college bank, which is Commonwealth Credit Union. and that card was a secured credit card for $300. Right now in my personal, I have like a $60,000 credit card limit in my personal account. Right, so my Commonwealth Credit Union card is so little compared to my other limits, but I still keep that account because it's the oldest in my account. So you have to understand, right? It doesn't matter where you are in your credit journey. Do not close your oldest account because it factors in the overall age. So make sure you're not closing your oldest account. This will greatly help your credit score. The seventh mistake you must avoid is actually not starting your credit journey early. The earlier the better, because previously on point 6 we were talking about credit age. Credit age is very important. So the earlier you start, the more time you're going to have to accumulate that history and build your credit throughout the time. So I don't care if you're under 18, there's still ways for you to build your credit. One of the things I highly recommend is going to your parents, and if they have good credit, ask them to be stated as an authorized user under their card, right? What that will do for you is you will start building your credit before you even get 18. That's what I do for my brother right now. He's under 18, but I listed him under my account. Now he's building his credit much faster, and he's accumulating that history in his account, and it's going to greatly help him when it comes to by the time he's going to be 21, right? He's going to have a perfect credit score. Like, unlike other people start building their credit when they're 21, but you do not have to wait until you turn 21 to build your credit. You can start as early as possible. Ask people, ask your uncle, right? Whoever got a great credit, because you don't want to be added under a person that have a horrible credit, because that's not going to help you. But if someone in your family have a great credit, ask them to add you as an authorized user so you can adapt their great credit behavior into yourself and build up on that. So by the time you're 21, by the time you're 25, you have a perfect credit score to utilize. So guys, as I say, make sure you follow these 7 steps. Make sure you avoid all these 7 mistakes when it comes to your credit. And I think you should be in a greater start and also achieve the dream of your score, a perfect credit score. So, and that's exactly what I'm here for. If you need help with your credit, if you need any assistance removing an account, any assistance building, even funding, we will love to help you. There's going to be a link below in the description. So go ahead, click that link, book your call, ask us any question. It's absolutely free. We do this to provide massive value for people. So, you can call us, talk to us in there, ask your questions. And also, if you want to ask me any question, you can also comment down below, and I'll see you in the next video.